separate from what Doug is actually separate. So it's pushing the water off to the side. And you can actually see that we're running out of side of the field.
Good, how are you? I didn't realize my friend Hillary worked.
(10 a.m. Call this meeting of the Sweetwater County Planning and Zoning Commission to order. In attendance are everybody but Patsy, so there are 4 of us here constituting a quorum. If you are here for the Love's Truck Stop, it is our intent to table that today, so we won't be holding, probably won't be holding the hearing. The applicant is not here, so we will schedule that for another day. I would entertain a motion to accept the staff report into the record or amend as appropriate.
I so moved. Oh.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
I have a motion.
I'll second.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. And I entertain a motion to approve or correct minutes of the March 13th, 2019 regular meeting minutes.
So moved.
Okay. The motion?
Second.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Over to you, Eric. Board action.
Yeah, so on March 19th, 2019, the County Commissioners heard the following hearings. Ryan Scott zoning map amendment, R2SF to agriculture was approved. The Troy and Renee Gross zoning map amendment, R2SF to ag was also approved, as recommended by the Planning and Zoning Commission. And then the Randy Lauder and Lane Billingham zoning map amendment from A to R1 was also approved. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right, that takes us to public hearings. We have 3 public hearings scheduled. As I said, when we get to the 3rd one, we're likely to table that. Public hearing 1 is for Mountain States Pressure Control Services, a conditional use permit to store 17,000 gallons of combustible liquid. Turn back to you, Eric.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So property owner is Josh Sorensen, Sorensen Holding. Gary Gard is the applicant. 6.45 acres. They own a couple of lots in there, which is Foothill Subdivisions lots 8 and 9, and a part of another lot. 28 Wilkins Peak Drive is the address, and it's located, and we'll show you on the map here, light and heavy industrial zone subdivision, approximately a half mile south of I-80. It's an I-2 heavy industrial, which is our very heavy industry type of zone district. City of Rock Springs offers water. It's in the Westside Water and Sewer District, so they provide sewer. It's under Fire District 1, Rocky Mountain Power, Dominion Energy, natural gas. Comes off Wilkins Peak Drive, which comes off Highway 191. Basically, the applicant applied to store above ground storage of 17,000 gallons. Our limit is 10,000 in the I-2 district without a conditional use, so that's why Gary Gard's here today, is to allow 7,000 more gallons of combustible diesel fuel. Okay. The applicant explains as follows. We're looking to store fuel on site for our fleet of trucks and oil-filled equipment. And further states, we're requesting permission to store a volume of fuel on site that is larger than what is allowed for our zoning classification. And as far as what the use is on the property, they're an oil-filled service company. And on site, there's a house, an office, and a shop for shops for maintenance. So here's the location of the property. These lots right here. And as you can see, this is all heavy industrial. This is zoned agriculture, but it's undeveloped. So as you can see, it's very common to see above ground storage of fuel in this type of subdivision due to the fact that the heavy industry that's in there. So, and just photos of the site. This is their office. Got oil field type service equipment that's located around the property and in the subdivision, and then the public hearing posting sign. And this is the lot right here that they're looking to store the fuel. And this is where the fuel storage is going, right there. So we'll just leave that up there. So when we go through this, our biggest concerns, we have criteria. Is it consistent with the comprehensive plan? Yes, it's going to be adjacent to existing industry. Is it going to adversely affect adjacent property owners? No, because it's in a heavy industrial zone district where you're going to see these type of uses. Is it compatible? Yes, it's as stated, it's within an industrial subdivision. Is it adequate public facilities? Does it have fire protection is the biggest thing, right, with above ground storage of fuels? Well, with combustible anyway, compared to flammable, has a higher flash point. It's really hard to light on fire. So with combustible fuel, the flammability is low with diesel fuel. So just that in itself has a low fire hazard. The other thing is will it negatively affect adjacent properties? They'll have to provide containment. They're providing above and beyond what's required by the fire code. The fire code's a minimum code. So they're even putting in what's above and beyond that, because they're going to have a couple of tanks there. They'll have flammable there, but it won't be above the 10,000 gallons. So we don't see any traffic congestion associated with this, and it will meet all the setback requirements that are stated in our code. So it'll meet all those requirements. As far as there were no public comments. We have an agency comment, which was Sweetwater Code Enforcement project will require a 2018 IFC inspection. Staff recommends approval of the request, Mr. Chairman. That's all I have.
All right. Is the applicant here with us?
I am.
What's your name?
Gary Gard.
Gary, come on up. Get on the hot seat for us.
Well, which one's the hot seat?
Whichever one you get.
Going right into the mic. Yeah, there you go. Do you have anything else you want to add to Eric's presentation?
No, I think that was thoroughly covered, what we're wanting to do. We do, according to my calculations, we run through about 17,000 gallons worth of diesel per month. So this would definitely suit our needs as we serve the area. So it would be very beneficial to us.
Commissioners, do you have any questions for Gary?
I have one. Eric mentioned that you'll have flammable containment. Is that right next to the diesel?
It'll be in the same containment is the plan, yes.
And I'm not that familiar with OSHA requirements, but MSHA has more stringent requirements for containment. You're going to meet all, I guess, OSHA because you're service.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've worked with the planning and zoning, and they've given us a list of requirements that we have to meet. And so we look through it, and we're planning on meeting all the requirements.
Yeah, since you're industrial, it's a different level.
I'm sure you've worked with DEQ to meet all the requirements also.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Comments or questions? Well, I guess we'll open this up to public comments. Is there anybody present who wishes to speak for, against, or in general about this application? Anybody? Going once, going twice? Public comments closed. Turn it back over to the commissioners for your pleasure.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the continuous use permit for the 17,000 gallons of fuel.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any noes? Motion carried unanimously. looks like you'll be in front of the county commissioners.
May 7th.
May 7th.
Okay, appreciate it. Congratulations.
Come on up, Casey, so I don't have to call you. Next on the agenda is a final plat approval for John and Trudy Doak. Turn it back over to you, Eric.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the property owner is John and Trudy Doak Revocable Living Trust, and it's located at 46 Reliance Road. It's a 39.841 acre parcel, and it's right there at the intersection of Reliance Road and Highway 191 North. It's zone light industrial, and it's on a septic system. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
I had to think there for a second. You were tied into the trailer park.
No.
No. It's on a private water system. It's a fire district number 1. Rocky Mountain Power, Dominion Energy, natural gas, provides gas to the area. It's right along the Reliance Road and Highway 191. So what this is, what we're hearing today is the final plat of this. As far as, well, let's just go to the plat. I think it explains most everything that's going on here. But basically, what we're doing is a 3-lot subdivision. This will be a lot here. This will be one big lot here. And this is where Casey's current operation is. As contractor yard, business is located right here, and then the asphalt plant's located down here. And what this does is subdivides the property up and so that this property can be developed separately, and also this one at the intersection. This does involve the realignment of Winton Road. I don't know if you've ever driven out there, but just the alignment of Winton Road right now is not safe. Casey has gotten into an MOU with Sweetwater County. This is kind of usually we'll have a subdivision improvements agreement with subdivisions, making sure the improvements get in. This is a little bit different. He has signed an MOU with the county to help realign that road. So that's being handled, instead of a subdivision improvements agreement, it's being handled through an MOU. Okay, that makes sense. So it's already been signed and approved with the county commissioners. So you're probably wondering, okay, so this is where public water is. The problem with hooking onto public water, because I'm sure you would like to hook on public water, is this is a transmission line to the tower, the water tank in Reliance. So that's what feeds through this area, so tapping into that is not feasible. And in order to get a water line to tap into would be quite a distance and economically unfeasible. So that's the reason for, right now, this lot here is connected onto the trailer park. I don't remember what size water line that is, Casey.
I've only got a 2-inch line going to my yard.
Yeah, so for domestic water purposes, yeah. So he's got and as far as fire protection is concerned, and we've got the okay with this from Fire District 1, is you've got a 30,000-gallon tank in the ground, which offers fire. Well, there's a pond right now.
No, the tank is actually installed, and it's 30,000 gallons with a hydrant connection, so the county can hook up to it and draw water from that. Not only for mine, if I have an agreement with the fire. If they have fire anywhere, they can draw off of that. They have a lock code they can get in the yard.
Perfect. And so when this gets developed, basically same thing.
Yep.
Tank will be installed. It's not being installed right now because there's a floodway that comes through here, that ditch that comes through here. So you haven't decided specifically exactly where you want to make sure where you're going to position that tank where the development's going to go, because it's such a large lot. So installing a tank right now would not do much good until the development actually happens, which case will be required to do. Which, the subdivision, I don't know if we want to say what it is you want to do with the lot.
Yeah, they can tell them. All it is storage units, so there's not going to be anything flammable except which might be in the storage units themselves. And so we're going to put a 30,000, and I already have a 30,000 gallon tank. We're going to put a 30,000 gallon tank on the west side of Kilpecker Creek right there. So that will be and also that will be used by the fire district if they need to access it. The same thing with what's in my lot.
Exactly.
By the way.
So those are the plans for the subdivision. As far as the water is concerned, it'll obviously, if, like, let's say this got developed, then the septic system will have to come in, same issues, you don't have sewer down there. Nor do I don't know if it's ever going to come through there the way things are going right now.
Who knows?
Who knows, right? So that's the plans as far as that goes. This did go through the Department of Environmental Quality for review, and they did approve the subdivision as far as how it's being proposed for water and sewer. Okay. As far as comments that have come in, Gene, any concerns that you have? I mean, I've got your comments here. Most of it was just on construction scheduling and things like that for the road.
No comments from me. One thing that I think the Planning and Zoning Commission should know is Casey's been as cooperative as Casey can be. No, Casey's been really cooperative.
Ouch!
Reliance Road through that section was a UP section. We got donated that. It was a railroad spur back in the 1930s. It's never had a formal road easement. Casey actually gave us a 100-foot road easement during the plat, and then with the realignment of 80 Witten Road, we got an 80-foot right-of-way. He's actually doing the construction on straightening out the Y and everything like that. So it's more toward AASHTO standards. So it actually fits us very well.
And we'll progress with that, with weather permitting, probably next month. I'd like to get started, well, after it goes through actually commissioners. I'd like to maybe get started before that. But until it gets approved, I want to get this all done so we can actually straighten that Witten Road up when we have some little bit of downtime until we get really busy. So we want to get that done for the county, and so that can be taken care of also. And then when we start developing on the other side.
As far as, then I won't go through your comments. I mean, Joint Powers Water Board, their biggest comment was basically, and it's more up to the county, is if they've got to do work on, because of,
Transmission line.
yeah, if they have to do work on their transmission line for whatever purpose, they're going to have to dig up Witten Road. So that's more of a county, because we'll own the road. That's more of a, comment to us. And then, as I stated, the emergency management and YDOT had no concerns. And staff supports the request. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right, anything else you want to add?
No, not really. Eric and Gene went over it really well. Just like to get, I don't want to proceed until commissioners, after you guys, if you approve it, and then after the commissioners, if they approve it, then we can actually get started on Witten Road. And Gene and I have been discussing this for the last, I don't know how many years now, and Eric.
Yeah.
So we'd like to get this to move forward. So, and the only reason I'm subdividing it is if I wanted to sell part of that, like where the storage units are going to go, I really can't with everything else incorporated into where my shop is, my asphalt plant is. I'd have to get rid of everything, and that is just not an option. That's the only reason. And with the natural, you can see the railroad goes through there.
Yeah.
So that divides it right there. Reliance Road divides that last little triangle with Witten Road. So it's just a natural fit that if we wanted to actually sell this in the future, the storage units, or that little triangle area there, it's just easier for us, because right now we can't do it. If somebody wanted to buy it, we'd have to sell the whole shop, and that's just not that's not feasible. So that's why we're doing this.
Commissioners, do you have any comments or questions? All right, we'll open this up to public comment. Is there anybody present that would like to make any comments for, against, or in general?
Gene don't count.
Go once, going twice. Hearing none, close the public comments portion of this hearing and turn it back over to my fellow commissioners for their pleasure.
Mr. Chairman, just so Casey knows, this has to go through the city of Rock Springs, and so I just encourage the applicant to talk to GSC and find out.
I have.
Okay.
Yes,
all
I
right.
have.
Okay.
Because I fall within the 1 mile
Yep.
boundary.
Yep.
The last of the city's extra jurisdictional power.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the final plat of John Trudy Dope subdivision.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second, is there any discussion? None, I'll ask for the ayes.
I will abstain.
Aye.
Aye. We have 3 ayes and 1 abstention, is there any noes? Motion carried.
Thank you, Arlen, appreciate it.
I'll see you, man.
Thank you, gentlemen, ladies.
Filter back, figure out what the title of this was.
Well, I did too. I was looking and to make.
Public hearing number 3, SCJ Alliance conditional use for a truck stop. A table action has been requested.
It looks like the word got out, Mr. Chairman, so.
Nobody showed up.
I just, staff request with the applicant to table this item until their application is complete. What is outstanding, just so you know, is the traffic impact study is not complete, and nor is the air quality. So when I talk to the applicant, those are going to take some time. So anybody that's watching this, I don't know when the hearing will be. It won't be in May. I seriously doubt it will be in May. Possibly June or July. Okay.
So a proper motion would be to
Just
table until, just table,
Yeah.
not until a particular time, or table it until the applicant is ready to proceed?
Go ahead, John.
My recommendation would be to postpone versus table.
Okay.
So typically, tabling would be more of a short-term motion. Postponement can be indefinite. Tabling would be if you folks have something that you're dealing with today, you want to deal with it later on, or even sort of at an outside scope would be at the next meeting, maybe. But even typically in that scenario, postponement is still a better type of motion. So I would recommend that it's that you consider the idea of postponement.
And with postponing, would they need to reapply, or just if their application runs out, then they would need to reapply at that time? Is that correct?
I don't know what you think about that, John.
How long is the application good for?
There's no time.
No time limit,
No.
so if we postponed until the applicant was ready to proceed, that'd be
Yes.
okay. Yep. Somebody care to make that motion?
I would like to make a motion to postpone it to the applicant, till the time the applicant is ready to proceed.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion second, any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried, so this is postponed until the applicant's ready to proceed. That ends the public hearings portion of the day. Is there any other business we need to deal with?
We will have a hearing in May. We have 2 public hearings, and so we would, just so you know, we will have May 8th will be the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. The hearings that were heard today are to be heard on May 7th, so it'll be just right after the day after. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman, right now.
Anything the rest of the board wants to talk about?
I just got busy and did not read or comment to your email about the storage container. Did
Oh,
anybody else?
okay.
I gave him a few comments.
Okay, sorry, I did get busy and I'm like, I need to do that, and then I didn't, so,
I don't think we have that on the schedule already.
No, I'm shooting for June on that.
okay.
Yeah, I want to wrap that up before I leave.
Okay, there we go. We can do that.
I want to
I
finish
don't-
something before I leave.
You did the wind farm. You were part of wind farm regulations.
Yeah, but we never fixed the residential side.
Yeah, that's true.
We're still pretty
Yeah,
stringent on the residential side, way more than I think we need.
yeah.
Because on the residential side, we're requiring, can't allow anything on our structures, requires some pretty
Oh,
massive
right.
setbacks, UL listings. And there's products out there that you can just mount to your roof, and they can't use them as for account.
Right.
So I'd like to see that. But that isn't.
That's, yeah. At least, let's do the storage containers. Because that's the area that you live in the area
We
where
never got
most
to
of them
motorcycle
are.
tracks.
Yes.
Let's at least do the storage.
That's no problem. We can get that in budget.
All right, if nobody has anything else, we entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
No second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned at 10:25.